Hi guys, Mr. Kane here. We're getting ready for yet another lab. This one is the pre-lab for... This one's the pre-lab for the Molar volume lab. In this lab, you're going to take a butane lighter and you are going to fill up a graduated cylinder with butane gas. You're going to be able to figure out how many moles of butane gas it takes to fill up the graduated cylinder. And you're also going to be able to use some proportional math to determine what volume an entire mole of butane gas would take up. So you're going to have to wind up getting the lighter wet. And there's little crevices where the water can get in the lighter, so we're going to want to make sure that we keep that as constant as possible. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to stick the lighter in water for a little while. Sometimes you got to hold it down to get it nice and wet. You're going to take it out, take some paper towel, you're going to dry it off as good as you can. You're going to shake it to get all the little bits of water out. You might want to count how many times you shake it. That was 8. And then you want to make sure it's dry again. Then you want to weigh it and write that down. And you need to prepare your graduated cylinder. You want to be sure to fill this graduated cylinder as high as possible. Notice that it's actually a little bit overflowing. And what we're going to do next is we're going to just take some saran wrap. Is this looking good? And we're going to put it over the top. You don't want to push the saran wrap down because then you'll get bubbles. Like that. So once you've inverted it, you can pick up the graduated cylinder and you just pull off a little bit until you get it like that. Now this should stand up just fine in the water trough. One thing to note about the water trough, guys, look over here. There is a little hole in it, so the water will come out into the sink. Don't put the hole over the middle of the lab table. You'll get things wet. Next step, take your butane lighter, pick the graduated cylinder up. That water will stay in there as long as you don't bring the top of the graduated cylinder over the level of the water. And you can hold it underneath, and as it's underneath the graduated cylinder, you go ahead and push on the thumb, and the gas is going to come out. This is going to take a little bit of time, but you should be able to fill up the graduated cylinder. You want to stop somewhere between 95 and 100 milliliters. Getting close to 95. Okay, so as it gets closer to 95, you want to pay attention because as soon as it passes 95, you basically want to stop. And I think I just passed 95 there, so I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to take my butane lighter and I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to want to try and read this, how much gas I currently have. Now remember, you're inverted, so you've got to pay special attention to exactly where those numbers are. If you are having a difficult time reading, here's a neat trick. Take the 50 ml beaker. Put it in and make sure there's no air inside the beaker. If you do this right, it's going to work beautifully. You need to tilt and not get any air bubbles lost. If you can set that up, you can pick the whole gosh darn thing up and read it easily. Once you've read and recorded how many milliliters of gas you've collected, you want to again dry off your butane lighter, shake it 8 times, or however many times you shook it before, 6, 7, 8, and dry it one last time. Be consistent. Then you want to weigh it again. And it definitely weighs less than it did before, 13.56 grams. You can calculate how many grams based off of that, how many grams of butane you used. You can do some dimensional analysis to figure out the number of moles of butane. Then do some proportional math, and you'll find out how much space a mole of butane would take up. All right, guys, that's about it. Have fun.